New videos every day.
Today I'm going to be teaching you the basics on how to play chess. So you better listen up, because there's nothing more embarrassing than losing a game of chess to a chick. In this particular video, we're just going to be going over the basics of the pieces and how they move. In future videos, we're going to be going over more advanced strategies. There are 6 different types of pieces on a chessboard, and each piece has its own rules on how they're allowed to move. Also, different pieces are more valuable than others, so we're going to go over each piece, how they can move, and how valuable they are. The first and most important piece on the chessboard is the king. The king is the tallest piece on the chessboard, and it's the most important because the object of the game is to capture your opponent's king. If you can capture the king, you win the game. The king has the ability to move in any direction to any adjacent square. However, he only can move one square at a time. These are the possible spaces that a king is able to move into. The second most important piece on a chessboard is the queen. The queen is the second tallest piece on the chessboard, and what makes her so important is that she has the most maneuverability than any other piece on the chessboard. The queen is able to move forward, backwards, left, right, and diagonally in any direction as long as it's in a straight line. These are the possible spaces that a queen will be able to move into. The queen has the ability to move to more spaces on the board than any other piece. The next important piece on a chessboard is a castle. Now the castle, like the queen, can move forward, backwards, left, and right in any direction for any amount of spaces. However, unlike the queen, he cannot move diagonally. These are the possible spaces that a castle is going to be able to move into. The next most important piece on the chessboard is the bishop. The bishop can move any amount of spaces diagonally in any direction, and that's it. These are the possible spaces that a bishop is going to be able to move into. The question is, why is a castle more important than a bishop? A bishop can move in any direction diagonally, and a castle can move horizontally or vertically in any direction. Well, the answer to that question is because it's easier to take the opponent's king by using a castle rather than using a bishop. The next piece on the board is the horse. Now, what's interesting about the horse is that he has the most complex moving abilities of any other piece on the chessboard. And if you didn't know already, a horse and a bishop are considered to be equally as important as each other. A horse is able to move up 1, over 2, up 2, over 1, back 1, over 2, or back 2, over 1, in any direction. These are the possible spaces that a horse will be able to move into. Notice that if a horse is on a dark space, it can only move to a light space. Also, if a horse is on a light space, it can only move to a dark space. The least important piece on the chessboard is the pawn. But don't underestimate its power. The pawn has a few odd rules of how it's allowed to move. The first time you move your pawn, it has the ability to either move 1 space forward or 2 spaces forward. So, if this is the first time my pawn is moving, it can either move 1 space forward or 2 spaces forward, but nothing else and in no other direction. If my pawn has already moved, it only has the ability to move 1 space forward. A pawn does not have the ability to capture a piece in a forward move. So in this situation, my pawn is not able to capture this piece, and also it is not able to move. Despite the fact that a pawn cannot move diagonally, it can only capture a piece in front of it by moving diagonally 1 space. A pawn is only able to capture a piece in a forward diagonal move. So in this situation, my pawn could either move forward 1 space, move to the left diagonally and capture the horse, or move to the right diagonally and capture the castle. Now keep in mind, though a pawn is able to capture a piece diagonally, it is still not able to move diagonally for any other reason. Another interesting thing about a pawn is that if you can get your pawn all the way to the other side of the board, it becomes a queen, and thus can move just as a queen can move. There's one other odd move that you need to know about, and this is called castling. If you haven't moved your king yet, and there are no other pieces in between your king and his castles, you have the option to switch the relationship between your king and his castles. Note that you can only castle 1 time per game, and it has to be your king's first move. Choose your moves wisely, because if a king is threatened by an enemy piece, he cannot castle. Also, if an enemy piece can capture any of the spaces in between the king and the castle, the king cannot castle. This is because, theoretically, during the act of castling, the piece could capture the king in the process. This is the proper way to set up a chessboard. First, the castles go on the outside. Then, the horses. After that, it's the bishops. And it's important to always remember that the queen goes on her own color. And the pawns go in the front. This is the way that a chessboard should look when it's properly set up. This particular chessboard is glass. Most chessboards have white or black pieces, and in this case, the frosted pieces are the black, and the clear glass are the white. This is a more traditional looking chess set, with the black and the white. Now there's something important that you need to know. When playing chess, the white side always gets to go first. That was some facts about the pieces of chess and their moves. In a future video, we're going to be going over the basic concepts of chess, such as threatening an enemy's chess piece, capturing an enemy's piece, guarding your own piece, exchanging pieces, how to put an enemy piece in check, and checkmate. And in a future video, go green. Easy tips to saving energy and money in your own home. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning the basics of chess. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment boxes below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to see more future videos. Hey, you know you want to subscribe. We have so many more videos coming up, so many more fun facts. Hit the yellow button. The next most important piece on... Now I'm all off. They both have the same maneuverability as far as... Okay. So the question is, why is the castle more important than the bishop? The bishop can move diagonally in 4 directions, and the castle can move forward and backwards, like, can move. Easy tips to being green, saving energy, and in a feature. The next piece on the chessboard is the horse. The horse just looks like a horse. Anyway, I feel stupid even saying that. I'm not gonna say that.